Hi, welcome back to Guardian Angel Resin Creations. Today I am going to do a 3D bloom, but I'm going to try putting a little squidgy in there. So I've just had him sitting on plastic because I'm outside, so I just didn't want it to get dust on it. So I'm just gonna sit him on there. Now I want to show you, I made the fatal mistake of sitting my little thing here on my mould overnight. So I don't know whether you can see it or not in the light. Not sure whether you can see the outline, but it has an outline of where I had him sitting. So we watch all these videos and they say don't put anything in your molds. Well, lesson learnt, do not sit anything in your molds. I think in the light you can see the little raised bit. It actually sucked the resin, like the mold, into the little indent on my little fish there. So beware, be very careful of what you are doing when you're getting your molds organized. Don't sit anything in them. So okay, with that said, I've already mixed up my resin. I've just got it sitting there at the moment. I have put the tiniest little bit of my, it's non-sinking sparkle, and you can buy it on Temu. So just put in non-sinking sparkle and for resin and it should come up. So I've put my bloom in this one. So I'm going to do a little bit of vivid blue, number 134, out of the pack from Amazon. So I'm going to do about that much. I think you can see it on my spoon. So that much in there. I've got 10 grams in each of my little things, so I'm going to do like a dirty pour, which everybody's doing at the moment, so I just thought I would just give it a bit of a go. That colour is Bamboo Green 135, so I'll just use that stick. So we'll do the same amount with the green as I did with the blue. That in there. Rightio. So my colours that I've got around are the same colours that I did last time. So I have my sparkle, which is number 11 in the little kit. Number 135, the bamboo. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the pearl blue, number 106, the crystal pearl blue, in with my white. I have 126 orange, golden green 85, luster blue 111, lemon yellow 125, peak yellow number 45, and scarlet number 127. And I also had the soft magic blue in there as well. Alrighty, so I'm going to try and get this all mixed up before the weather starts coming in, because I do resin outside. So I'm going to try and be as quick as I can, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, now I should put my little thing in. So I'm going to try and get it exactly where I had it sitting so that I don't ruin the mold anymore. So I can just see the outline of where it was sitting in the light. So I'm going to stick him about there. Just make sure got him in that outline, and then I'm just going to press it down, because it is one of the squidgy things. And I have made marks all over my mold. So I'm going to just take him off. I'm just going to get a wet one, wipe that off. quickly wipe that off. Didn't need that to happen. I'm just gonna spray my wet one. Wipe that over. Give it a dab with a glasses cloth. And turn him over and give him a wipe. And let's try again, shall we? Okay, so that's about where he was. And push him down. Try and make sure he contacts the mould. Without getting blue all over the mould. So I've mica powdered him, which I forgot to tell you that I did that. So I've just poured a bit of the vivid blue and a little bit of the, I think, golden green onto him. So what I want to do is I want to, like, I'm going to pour in, which I'm going to do that any second now because my resin's warm enough. I'm going to pour the resin in there and I'm going to do like a dirty pour 3D blue. And then what I want to do is try and take him out and then just pour clear in where he was. Like if he doesn't come out, he doesn't come out, then I ruined my piece. But hopefully, because when I did the other one that I did with the squidgies, you could actually pull them out. So let's see how we go, shall we? So this is actually quite warm now and it's super bubble free. So I'm going to spray because I keep getting bubbles, and then I'm just going to just pour it in before this alcohol marks my mould. Pour it in, get it in around it. Try and get it into my little fishies. Just pour him on the top, just so that it's got some on him, because I know it's not going to cover him all the way the first time, but hopefully it'll cover him the next time. Right, let's scrape that out. Put a bubble in it. So I did have my resins in my Ice Toyo bubble machine. It takes, depends on how much resin you've got in there, what cups you use. With this machine it took me probably about 12 or 13 minutes it took to get the bubbles out, and then all I do is just hit it with the heat gun very gently. Right, that'll do, that's enough, that's out. So let's mix that. Okay, set that to the side, and now get a cup, which I forgot to get before. I have all my cups now in the corner, like on little racks, sitting in the corner of my like on the corner of my wall. So let's go with this. Let me just hit it a bit more, excuse the noise, and the arms, just to get the bubbles out, make sure there's no bubbles in there, warm it up a little bit. Sorry about the noise. Now, hopefully you can see my cup. We're going to do a little bit of white, about half. And then a little bit of the blue. And a bit of the green. Tiny bit of the white in the middle. And then we're going to do the rest of the blue. Get all that in there. Scrape that out. Don't want to waste it. That one. Then our green. Okay, it's getting nice and thick now. And then the rest of our white. Well, I wonder how this is going to go. Right, now I am just going to give it a little bit of a stir with a little tiny stick. Just want to give it a bit of a mix. That's it. Done. And shall we pour? Let's see how we go, shall we? Right, make sure you are in the center, and here we go. Actually, I am just going to give it a torch. See some big bubbles in there. Okie dokie. Make sure this is warm enough. 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to make sure there was no bubbles in this without making noise for you. It's I think it's up to temperature now. It's starting to feel warm. I have just been making sure there's no bubbles in this, because there are a couple of bubbles coming up, and you're only seeing a little bit of smoke because it is cold outside. This will go into my little curing machine. Something in there. Joys of being outside. Right, let's give this a go, shall we? Give it another. Make sure there's no bubbles. I don't want any bubbles. Let's go. Look. I'm just gonna follow him around. You can see the lines of the blue and the green all the way around there. Right over to the edge. Go around again till we use all of this up. Right, done. I'm going to put this in my curing machine for a few hours, and then I will come back and I will put a bit of a top coat on it, and then I will be back when it's cured. Okay. It's cured enough. Well, it's cured so that I can stick my fingernail in it because I've had it in my little curing machine. I have made up my resin. I've had it sitting in my little machine, and I have put Glitter Deep Violet in it. So I'm gonna give it a go. So hopefully it shows up the blue. I was gonna put Intensive Sparkle Blue behind it, but realized it will not show up the blue bloom. So I have another project that I'm doing, so I have just made up enough resin to do them both, and we will see how we go with this. Like, it is just gorgeous. Like, it's not very opaque, it's quite see-through, so hopefully it'll make it all pop. So just kind of put a couple of bubbles in it. Right, see how we go, shall we? So scrape my stick down. I'm just going to pour it onto my stick. Hopefully I've made up enough for both projects, but that's fine, I can always make up more. Yep, I'm going to have to make up more. I didn't realize this would take so much. Oh, you need to go over the little thing. This is definitely not level. Get it into the little crabby's feet. Okay. I knew that would happen. Is little, what is it? Little hand, whatever, is sticking out a bit, but I thought that that might happen. Let's put a little bit more in the crab. I can always do, like, I'll just stick a little bit of sticky tape on it when I take that out. So that, and I will just, what I'm going to do is just fill up the little crevice in there, like the little hole where he's been sitting, hopefully. Okay. And a bit more. Might have to just make up a tiny bit more resin for my other little project that I'm doing. Now we're going over his little fin. That's the word I was looking for. Over his little fin. Up into the crab. I want to try and dome it a little bit so that it does cover. A tad more. Oh, he's nearly covered. I'm just going to bend over, like his fin is just sticking out, so I think I can just dome it just a tiny bit more. Don't want it to overflow. Give it a bit of a torch. Okay. Probably should have cut his little fin off, but my granddaughter's toy, so I didn't really want to go cutting it up. And I'm just going to just stick this under here just to be sure that I've got it even. I could probably do maybe just the tiniest bit more in the crap, just around this side. Don't want to overflow it on the other side. Alright, I'm not going to touch that anymore. I'll come back when it's cured and we'll see what it looks like. Rightio, I'm back. It's time for the demold. A little bit of overpour there, but that does not matter. So, and I can feel his little fin. So I will have to fix that. So, get him out. The little crabby's feet. That's what I have, like, you have to try and get over these little feet and things like that. So this is one of Julie Cutz's seconds mould that I got for, you buy them for cheaper. It has got, oh, it's hot. It's like, it's got a couple of bubbles, which I really don't care. It's got a couple of bubbles up here. It actually adds to the feature of the mould, I think. So we'll see how we go with it. Like, I love it. Now I do have that raised bit. I think you can see it, I'm not sure. Have the raised bit in there still, but I'm not sure how we'll get it out. Maybe hit it with a heat gun and just warm it up a smidge, but we'll see. So alright, let's do this. So let's turn him over. Rightio. Do I have blooms? I have blooms. I'm going to bring you up a little bit closer so you can see my little blooms. I didn't do too bad with them. Not bad at all. But the blue is heavy around there, and then you've got the lighter wispy bits. That's very cool. So, alright, let's try and get our squidgy out, shall we? With that, I think it's going to ruin my squidgy. I think he is not going to come out properly. Oh no, hang on a minute. He might, if I'm really careful with him, he's going to come out. I'm super careful. Going to bring him up there. Just gently peel him off. I'll be really gentle. Get his little tail out. Now, I might have ruined it. I'll have to buy my granddaughter a new one. I'm sure she won't mind. I should get myself a set, and then I can just use whichever ones I like. So I'm going to have to just break him and pull him out, pull his little tail out and get him out. Oh, yep, murdered him. Oh my goodness. So not quite how I thought he would turn out. What I need to do, I think, is actually that's only got the tiniest little hole in the back of him. So I think if I just do like pour the stuff in there, pour resin in there, I can just fix that tiny little hole. So get all those extras off. Just scrape it off, get his little nose out. And what I might do before I actually put resin in it, because I don't even know what it's gonna look like, whether it'll look any better or worse or anything, so we'll see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just let this set overnight, and then I will get all of these pieces off And I might come back and we might pour a bit of silicone in there and see whether I can make another one of these so that I can use as a mould. I'll be back. Sure. I've made up my silicone for my little seahorse here. I've also made up a little box for my leftover silicone. I've got just some little hooky things in there that I broke a couple, so I wanted to make a little mold so that I could have some more. They're actually for a basket or a couple of baskets that I have got hanging on my wall. So I want to have multiple hooks, so I thought I would give it a try and make resin hooks. So we'll see how we go with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour that into there. I've had it sitting for about 5 minutes. So we'll see how we go. I made up 30 grams of A, 30 grams of B, and I did it by weight because I've actually weighed the bottles, so I know they're exactly the same weight. Alrighty, get it in the little tail there. And I know I should have gloves on, but I didn't even think about it. Okay, that's just about to the top of him. I don't want it like too deep. So, alrighty, so that's to the top of him, so I'm just going to leave that sitting there. I have still got the sticky tape underneath in case my UV resin didn't work properly. So I'm going to come across here and I'm going to pour this into here. And just pour it in all the little holes. I might just bring it over here a little bit more so that I can see it while I'm doing it. Bring it there. Get it in that little space there. Make sure there's no air bubbles in it. And that is definitely going to be plenty. Didn't think that I would have quite enough, but obviously I do. Maybe I should have been making something else. Righty. Okay, so pour that in so that I can't actually see it. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Alrighty, I have already unmolded this because I made a little separate video of unmolding that. So that's worked out really well. It's nice and strong. So I'm going to pour in this the same time as I pour into this one. So I'm going to just gently take him out. Just going to gently get my fingernails under him and just lift him out. I did clean up all the sides of that so that he lifted out easy. Oh, look at that. I have a little seahorse mould. Now he's not shiny and I knew he wouldn't be shiny. Oh, that's actually UV resin that has come off of there. I actually thought that that was cured, so I'm going to have to do that again before I actually put in my normal resin. So I'm just going to give that a spray with a bit of alcohol and give it a bit of a clean up, I think. So I've just got a bit of paper towel. Just give it a bit more of a spray on there just to make sure it's all off. Just give it a bit of a wipe over. He turned out so well. And he's nice and solid too. Look at him. Look at that. He's super cool. Oh. Alrighty. I'm going to fix this up I'm gonna mix some resin. I'm gonna work out what I'm gonna put in there, whether I was thinking about putting something over the top and making it into a little shaker. I'll work that out and I'll come back in a second. I'm back. So I've mixed up my resin. I've had it sitting now for nearly an hour because it's freezing outside. I debubbled. I've actually hit it with the heat gun to just warm it up a bit because it just wasn't warming up. I probably should have set it inside near my heater, but it's warm now. I'm just gonna hit it with the flames again. Scrape off my little stick here. I have put in the tiniest, tiny bit of crushed crystal unicorn art. You need the tiniest on the tip of your stick, and it doesn't seem to sink too much, like it's floating there in a minute at the moment. So I'm going to pour and see how we go. So I'm going to move this over so you're all in shot, and just gently pour it in. I should have maybe put it back in my debubbler when I warmed it up, but it'll be fine. I'm going to actually put it into my little tiny dehydrator and turn it on super low. Just wipe that, and then hopefully you can see. Let's move that out of the way for a second so that the bubbles start to come up in it. Wow, I made up way too much. I made 27 of A and about 24 of B. So let's see how hard this is to pour in. It's flowing. Just gonna let that flow a bit more. Let's get a bit of paper towel. Was not prepared. Now just let that flow in there. It's a little bit too much in there, but that's fine. I'll just wipe it over with the bit of paper towel. Right, let it wipe. I'll just give it a scrape with my stick. Yeah. And I just stuck my hand in the resin. Right, I'm just going to spray my little stick. Just give that a wipe off. And I am going to just spray this with a bit of alcohol and just wipe it over. You're an idiot. My goodness. Try that again, shall we? Let's use a wet one and not do what I just did. Well, it's all trial and error, isn't it? I'm going to wipe the mould, wipe in the center there. Now I don't want it to dome, like it's only a little hanging thing, it doesn't matter if it is not domed. I will just sit the tiniest bit more in there just to get out the bit that I wiped out before. Like I can cut it off, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see them, they're just like little hanging hooks for my personal use in my baskets because I have everything sitting up off my table. When it rains really heavy here where my table is sitting, the gutters overflow sometimes and it does get wet, so I've put everything up out of the way. So we just give that a bit more of a wipe over. That'll do. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with that. I am just going to bring that back and dome it just a smidge more. Just don't want to have a crevice. And I might just get a cup and sit it on a cup. Let's get a little purple cup here. Gonna sit it on my little purple cup, and I'm just gonna gently spread this around. Now I know I shouldn't have had the sparkles in it, but I just, after all my playing around with this, just put a couple of little marks on it. So I'm just going to wipe this over. Just get it around to the edge. Probably should be using a silicone stick. Just get it around there. Yeah. Right, pour it in. Just going to spray my hand and get some of this silicone off it. And get a proper spatula like I should have in the beginning. Just make sure there's nothing on the edge of this. Just gently wipe it around there. Just around so that it just touches the little fish on the edge. Then I will hit it with the heat gun to make sure that I've got it everywhere I need to get it. I think I've just ruined my bloom because you can't see the bloom now. It's actually getting a little bit sticky now. So I just want a fine amount on it. Rightio. Now stick it on the cup properly. I'll hit that with the heat gun. I'll make sure it's all level, and then I will come back and show you how it's finished up, and I will work out what I'm going to do with the rest of this resin.